Hi everyone, this is Kay from Mad Main, and today I'm going to talk about coffee mugs. I'm not going to tell you whether selling coffee mugs is a good thing or a bad thing. If you like selling coffee mugs, great, do that. If you don't like selling coffee mugs, then don't do that. But what I'm going to tell you today is how to store those darn coffee mugs. Now, I don't really particularly like coffee mugs. I really don't. But for me, they sell. And I have an antique booth, and a lot of my mugs sell in my antique booth. I also sell quite a bit online, and that's why I need to store them sometimes. And I want to talk to you today about how I store coffee mugs. So here is an example. These are 3 mugs that I headed to my antique booth, but I wanted just to show you how if you just put coffee mugs on a storage shelf, they take up a lot of room. And coffee mugs are not uniform in size. So you have sort of a little bit of oversized ones, you have small little squat ones, and then you have slender ones with weird handles, and they are very tippy, so they can very easily tip over. This method of storing coffee mugs right on storage shelves is bad for a number of reasons. The number one reason, in my opinion, why storing coffee mugs straight on shelf is bad is because they take up a lot of valuable space. When you go to store your inventory, every square inch matters. And coffee mugs are space hoarders, in my opinion, especially since they are not uniformly sized. And typically, coffee mugs do not stack. So for me, number one reason is that they just take up too much space. And, you know, that takes up a lot of profit. So I want to be able to store items that will sell for a lot more money on my shelves. So that is the number one reason why I work to come up with a different system. And the system that I have used for over a year now, and I really like it, and I want to share it with you. Okay, this is the same shelf without the coffee mugs. This is my part of my glassware shelf, so I have other ones. But yeah, I like things to be very tidy, and I want to know exactly where I have my things. So look at this Dorothy Thorpe set that I just found. Anyway, I'm just about to process that. But this shelf has no coffee mugs. Yes, it actually does have coffee mugs, and I'll show you where they are. All right, are you ready? Ta-da! This is how I store my coffee mugs. Now, I use these shelves, you know, that have those perforated slots in them. And here's where I store my coffee mugs, up underneath. And this is usually a pretty wasted space. And what I use to store them with are these S-hooks. So you can see that they just latch on to the shelf above. And since they have an S-hook, they are perfect for the handle of a coffee mug. Here are a couple of Starbucks mugs. In the back there, I have some kitty cat mugs. Right here, I have a Taylor & NG mug. I have an Otagiri mug here. But this, for me, has worked really well for 2 reasons. It takes up hardly any space, or actually what it takes up is dead space for me. And they're out of the way, and they're less likely to get broken or chipped. Let me show you some other ones. Here is the shelf underneath. This is typically my Pyrex shelf. All of this is just waited to be put in my antique booth. But if you look on top, here are more coffee mugs. And again, here they are all S-hooks. And sometimes I put them this way. If I have more than one of the same thing, I put them this way because right away I can tell which mugs they are. But they are really easy to see. They are out of the way. And yeah, like I said before, they are so much less likely to get broken or chipped this way. And they take up just dead space. Here is another one of my glassware shelves. And again, you know, I have my glassware. These are more fancy glassware. Again, using the dead space hanging from the top, that's where I have all my S-hooks, and that's where I have my mugs. Okay, here are 2 different types of S-hooks. Now the one to the left, I got in a package that were meant for hanging planters outside. And the one on the right is just a standard hardware store S-hook, and super strong. And they are very inexpensive. And you can use them over and over again. And I absolutely recommend these. Okay, this is in a different part of my basement. And this is a much cheaper type storage shelf that I still use. And here is where I actually store a lot of my cameras. Several of these are tagged and they're ready to go to my antique booth, mostly Polaroids here. And over here, I just have a whole box full of crewel kit and embroidery kit and such. But again, up here, there's wasted space. And what I did here, because I ran out of S-hooks, I use these cable ties. They move around they move around freely, they are secure, and they're out of the way. So yeah, if you don't want to do S-hooks, S-hooks I think are the easiest, but if you have no S-hooks, but you do have some cable ties, you can do this as well. It works great for me. Okay, same concept here. This is the shelf below. I have a basket here with a lot of game pieces, and a lot of times I use those as grab bags in my antique booths. I just have to sort these yet. I haven't done that yet. But right above, there's some dead space, and there are some more mugs hanging with cable ties. Okay, so just in case you don't know exactly what the cable ties look like in a package, I'll show you. This is just a basket that I have with antique booth sort of extra stuff, not stuff for sale, but stuff that I use in my antique booth for various display things. Like I have some fruit here. I sometimes will use these sort of in some fall decorations and bowls and such, and picture things and everything. But this is also where I keep these little cable ties, and there's 60 of these in this package. I got it from the dollar store, so 60 for $1. That cost is negligible. Super easy, super cheap. Another system that I used, and I still use it a little bit, but mainly what I used before I came up with the S-hooks and the cable ties are these mug trees. And you know, you can find these really inexpensively at thrift stores and everything, and at least you are utilizing vertical space. You are not just putting coffee mugs on a flat surface and wasting all the space on top. At least they kind of sort of stack upwards. They can be a little shaky. But what I do recommend that you use them for, if you have an antique booth, is for display. These are the excellent display devices, and not just for mugs and coffee cups, but they are good for all kinds of things, including jewelry or anything that you can hang really. So I do use them. Sometimes I will still use them. If I pick up a set of 4 of a kind, I will just put them on the mug tree and put them sort of securely on my shelf. But by far, I really prefer using the S-hooks. Again, this is just one suggestion of how to store those darn coffee mugs so they will not take up so much space, and they're much less likely to break. If you like this type of video, please let me know below. I have other systems that I have developed as well that will help me to keep track of things and to store things properly. I think one of the major pitfalls of what we are doing, whether we are selling online or we have antique booths, is that we get overwhelmed with inventory, and then we don't know how to store them, and we just kind of store them all over the place, and it's hard to find, and it's just overwhelming. And I think for a lot of people that can sort of lead to a lot of burnout. So inventory overload and disorganization is your biggest enemy in many ways. Goodbye, little Dansk mug. You are going to join the others. Even one-handed. That was easy. All right. See you guys soon. Bye from Kay in Mad Main.